back at it on the Gym Challenge Sunday number 14. Back here at Second Turtle Collectibles. My name is Cornell. Joining the site is Dennis Geisler, and we have arrived to semi-final round. So don't go anywhere. We have a lot of Pokemon to be taken care of, and Allan, Martinez, and Abhyu, Vatsavai are both competing for a potential spot in the grand final. On both sides, we got Allan on the screen again. We have Roland, Ninetales, Boom, Iron Bundle, Cheeky, Urshifu Rapid Strike, and Landorus Therian. And for Abhyu, it's for Redraft, Roland, Ninetales, Landorus Therian, Heatran, Ogrepon Teal, and Urshifu Rapid Strike.
Yeah, a lot of interesting Pokemon here. I think the most interesting thing is that both sides have the Alolan Ninetales, and neither side has any way to overwrite snow with any other weather conditions. So realistically, both sides are decently easily able to get Aurora Veil up, both of them with Light Clay as well. So we could see a very bulky matchup here, which is why potentially both of these sides are either going to take it much slower or try to put way more damage out there. I'm curious to see what direction they want to go with a way bulkier set of Pokemon out.
The thing is, Allan's team is more focused on the snow, while Abhyu really is only using his for just the Aurora Veil. But we've seen that Aurora Veil has been a big impact for both of these players throughout their tournament runs.
Yeah, in general, that Alolan Ninetales Aurora Veil will become very popular over time. I wonder how much we'll start seeing anti-Aurora Veil techniques, such as the Brick Break.
Yeah, Brick Break. I don't think we're going to tidy up from Mount
Tidy up, yeah, it does, doesn't matter.
Okay, go. Most people use the Alolan Ninetales, except for Abhyu, and Landorus for Allan is an Iron Bundle.
Start bringing Tidy Up for it. Aurora Veil.
Yeah, I mean, there's also other options like Force Change Centigrade. You can just take the Aurora Veil, make them reset. Those are 18 techs that we'll talk about for another time. Instead, we're just going to immediately. Thanks to that choice, Scarface holding it. Go ahead out to the Iron Bundle, which was not holding the booster energy. So you make it don't take a quad weakness to ice, and here comes the Heatran for Abhyu.
This is Specs Iron Bundle launching out a Blizzard here. Let's see how much it does against resistant targets, and yeah, not very much.
And there's the Aurora Veil for Allan's Ninetales as it moves first in the turn order, and Abhyu also goes for an Aurora Veil, but we know now Abhyu is slower. Yeah,
we have the deep knowledge here. We know that Allan's Ninetales has 3 more points in speed than Abhyu's. So Allan's will always go first out of these two, although I don't know how much that is going to end up mattering in the long term.
We really do not know, because you got the defense boost of the Aurora Veil without a single problem. And looking at it here, as Allan switches out his Ninetales, says he doesn't want to take a Flash Cannon, which we do know Abhyu's Heatran does have 4 attacks with that Assault Vest and is able to switch between each and every one of them. We see his Terastallization come out, and I believe this is from Abhyu.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what the decision is here. It is the Heatran. That is an interesting call here.
Yeah, especially since that Choice Specs Iron Bundle is on Blizzard, so this is pretty dangerous if he's confident enough to live an Assault Vested boosted one. Here's a Blizzard, gonna go ahead and double connect. Blizzard pretty comfortably, not gonna lie.
Assault Vest, Aurora Veil, it keeps you pretty bulky.
Yeah, no freeze, and okay, the Aurora Veil is actually doing 3 detrimental. That's a Moonblasted. Oh, the next did no damage. And instead of going for a Flash Cannon, we see a Terra Blast crash into the Iron Bundle that's gonna take it out.
Yeah, and that'll at least clean out the Iron Bundle from the field. It's a very... I mean, that Iron Bundle has a lot of damage, and I won't say that Allan will struggle to find damage at this point, because there is still that Urshifu Rapid Strike, but it's definitely a little bit dicier as this continues.
And especially now that there's no Alolan Ninetales actually can touch the Heatran now that it's turned out of Fire and Steel type altogether, so it really is only the Ninetales can be resisting its hits, but Urshifu really can't go for Searching Strikes on the Heatran. Like, it maybe can get a knockout on it, but is it... No, it has to be safe. It has to be one of the safer plays, actually. Especially
yeah. I'm not sure what the best decision is here. I think attacking is still the better option, especially knowing that, okay, it's going to be the switch out anyways.
So we're going to see the Heatran go away here, and we're going to see Abhyu send him his Ogrepon. But the Ogrepon party has continued, and his Teal Mask is in display. We're going to see a Terra Water, I think, from this Urshifu Rapid Strike, so get rid of that Fighting Type weakness, so make sure it's not Lethal Moonblast.
And I wonder how much this is going to do into the Teal Mask Ogrepon, I believe is the spot that it targeted. Not the bulkiest Pokemon of all time.
Oh, especially not against that Blizzard. I mean,
Yeah.
it did take it pretty well, but I mean, more talking about the Ninetales not having much special attack investment. Here's the Moonblast into the Urshifu. Yeah, not a lot of damage, especially with that Aurora Veil, and not as neutral. Surging Strikes comes out from this Urshifu. Will critical hit all 3 hits. First one of the Ogerpon. Oh, this actually might be close if it's going to take the knockout. Second hit. Oh, I think he got it.
I think indeed that is the KO onto the Ogerpon, just switching in to get knocked out. Rough turn for our good friend Teal Mask Ogerpon.
Rough turn there for Abhyu. Loses his Ogerpon pretty early. That's one of his best answers to Urshifu, even though Heatran is another answer currently. Landorus comes in, so it is going to be an Intimidate coming in, but Searching Strikes doesn't care about Intimidate.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's one of the many problems with Urshifu, is that it does not matter if you Intimidate it. Surging Strikes will still do the same amount of damage.
And now Aurora Veil's still up for both of these players. The thing becomes now, it comes down to what both these Ninetales do. I think they both are going to be spamming Moonblast now. Stomping Tantrum comes in from the Scarf Landorus. Not enough damage to this Urshifu, especially with that Aurora Veil up. Blizzard doesn't knock out the Landorus, surprisingly enough, thanks to that Aurora Veil. And we get a freeze.
Ah, the freeze onto the Landorus, that's big.
It would depend on where this Urshifu lands his target, because if it goes after the Landorus, the freeze ultimately will not matter. The Moonblast not enough to take out the Urshifu here, as it lives on 24 HP. Surging Strikes us into the Ninetales, so the freeze will end up mattering.
To some extent, the freeze matters marginally, because the Aqua Jet can still come out and would outspeed the Landorus regardless, which I think we'll probably see anyways, as Aqua Jet would just finish off the Landorus, and Ninetales as a pretty good matchup into the Heatran remaining.
Yeah, especially since it's still that grass type. Urshifu is faster than both these Pokemon unless his Landorus unthaws. But again, you did mention the Aqua Jet can just bypass it completely. So Abhyu, I think Abhyu is going to lose this game at this rate.
Yeah,
it is going to be the Aqua Jet going to pick up the knockout on the Landorus before it has a chance to unthaw. Blizzard comes out, and I think that's game over.
I think you're right. We'll see for sure. There is still a lot of bulk on this Heatran, but even if it takes this Blizzard,
it's single target.
It's not going to take another one.
Actually, I did underestimate the recovery there. And HP. Heat Wave comes down on both Pokemon. Does knock out the Urshifu, but Ninetales takes it convincingly well, and Urshifu and Ninetales still is faster.
Yeah, I still don't think that Heatran is going to be able to make it out of this one.
Snow
stops, so it is a roll on the
and there's a real boom anyway, so
Blizzard, but
there's fake out pressure, so now it's just fake out pressure, now it's grassy glide pressure potentially. Blizzard can miss, but he has Moonblast, which is neutral.
Rillaboom also has U-turn if you want to like 100% guarantee the KO onto Heatran. I think that would be a nice move.
Ooh, not enough of a knockout and grassy glide, so that's an important calc to know.
But the Moonblast well.
And a critical hit to end the game as Allan wins game number 1. In a pretty dominant fashion over Abhyu, and Abhyu I think ended up having a problem where a lot of his Pokemon were just weak to Ice-type attacks.
Yeah, that is absolutely true. The Landorus took a ton of damage against Ice-type attacks. That's one of the issues I was mentioning earlier with this Terra Grass Heatran. It felt really unbreakable in Regulation D when not a lot of Ice-type attacks were flying around. But now in Regulation E, with the Alolan Ninetales, with other snow-supported Pokemon, with the Baxcalibur, there are way more Ice-type attacks flying around, and that Heatran's also just going to take a lot more damage. It also did not help that Ogerpon got blown up almost immediately, even through Aurora Veil.
And who knows if it would have been a better decision not only not to Terrasilize the Heatran and maybe save that for the Ogerpon, but also maybe if you could have preserved that Ogerpon and let Heatran go down, maybe you could have got your Ogerpon some chances to get Ivy Cudgel knockouts.
Yeah. I agree with that, and I wonder what the exact lineup was there in terms of the speed tiers and what kind of damage it would have done, but at the same time, yeah, I think that letting Heatran go down or take more damage might have been a better decision than letting Ogerpon just completely get blown up upon entering. And this is a more it's not an unaggressive Ogerpon, but it only has Ivy Cudgel and Knockoff as damage moves, which Knockoff, not the highest power move. It's pretty good damage, but it's got the Follow Me and the Spiky Shield past that, which isn't unusual, but it means that it only has, obviously, since it's a Teal Mask, only one same type attack bonus, and doesn't have a ton of great coverage.
Yeah, and we're going to see here neither player changing up their leads. It's going to be the same game, same situation. Nothing's changed. And now it comes down to whether or not we get the same repetition of game number 1. Do we see double Aurora Veil and Blizzard and a U-turn, or do we see anything differently?
Something I was wondering about in game number 1 is how much damage that Landorus would have done to Iron Bundle with a different move. Potentially like a Rock Slide. Not necessarily a ton of damage, but especially if it got a Rock Slide flinch, that could potentially really change the tide of things instead of how it is. But at the same time, you didn't take a whole lot of damage in the first turn last time, so don't fix what isn't broken.
Wait a minute, I just realized. I saw Allan go for the Hydro Pump onto the Landorus side. If this is Heat Transmission, this is Heat Transmission. If this Hydro Pump connects, I think Abhyu's going to be set back so far, and it missed.
No, that's the Iron Bundle tragedy. It happens every time.
Here I was trying to hype with this Iron Bundle on this prediction here. Instead, it just misses the Hydro Pump before the Aurora Heal goes up. That would have been huge if the Hydro Pump landed. Instead, Heat Transfer survives another turn. Likely we'll get a Heat Wave off. But fortunately for Allan, he does get his own Aurora Veil.
Yeah, I mean, both sides get their Aurora Veil up just like last time. The difference is that Allan doesn't get that early chip damage with the Blizzard, and also is not immediately locked into the Blizzard, and is instead locked into the Hydro Pump. Which does force out the
Terra out of Abhyu.
Yeah.
And thankfully, because it's Hydro Pump this time, this Grass Terra makes a bit more sense, but now Ogerpon loses out his opportunity for a speed boost later on.
Yeah, in the same way as the previous game, it's already locking in the early Terra.
Well, he had to target that slot anyway, just in case it didn't go for the Terra.
Exactly.
And here's a Blizzard. It isn't doing a lot of damage, as we do know this Ninetales not having enough bulk. Not very effective on the Ninetales. No freezes come out. Moonblast into this Iron Bundle, still doing the same amount of damage. Terra Blast once again, and this just secures the knock on the Iron Bundle, just like game number 1.
Yeah, this is almost the exact same as game number 1 so far, with the exception of the Iron Bundle's early pick as the Blizzard versus the Hydro Pump. We'll see what the decision is now.
These Pokemon in the back are interesting. Oh, it's the same.
It's the same for,
yeah. Yeah, the same for as Allan brings out Urshifu once again. Surging Strike still has a chance to potentially get a knockout on both these Pokemon. I think more unlucky in the Heat Trend this time, now that it has more HP that it didn't take from Blizzard the last game. And now it just, once again, comes down to how much damage does Ninetales do with this Urshifu.
Yeah, it'll be close. It'll certainly be close. I think you have to make sure you can take care of the Heatran as fast as possible, because otherwise that Terra Blast will just rip Urshifu apart.
Maybe it will one hit KO it because of that Aurora Veil, but its special defense is still not great.
Yeah.
Well, let's just see how much it will matter here as Ninetales goes for the Blizzard, double connects on both two Abhyu's Pokemon from Allan's own. Ninetales, do we get any freezes here? No freezes. Ninetales just goes for the Moonblast for Abhyu into Allan's Urshifu. Gets a special attack drop. Not like that would do much of meaningful content here as... this might be
same
close.
As last time.
Urshifu goes for the second one. It's going to get the knockout.
I think it's almost the same numbers as last time. The third one finishing it off about 2.5 Surging Strike hits to do it. And there goes the Heatran. Now the question is what comes in now. I think it was the Landorus last time that came in at this point in time.
It could be Landorus. It still could be the Ogerpon.
Still could be the Ogerpon or something else if Abhyu wants to
Abhyu starts an Urshifu, starts
change things up a little bit. Yeah. Although I don't think either of those are great into this matchup. It's Ogerpon again. Well, this means that Ogerpon gets its own time to check into this battle. It is faster. I think it's faster than everything on the field right now.
Barring the Ninetales.
Base, it's faster than Ninetales. I don't know if it is spec to be faster, but it has exactly one base speed higher than Ninetales, if my memory serves.
And here we go. Urshifu switching out immediately just to make sure he doesn't take damage from this Ogerpon. Rillaboom comes in, but that gives Ogerpon grassy terrain.
It does indeed.
Which will power it up, especially with his Ivy Cudgel, depending on how fast it is. Ninetales does outspeed Abhyu's Ogerpon because Allan's is pretty fast on the Spectrum side. And here comes a Blizzard. This Ogerpon's not faster than either of these Ninetales. As Blizzard does connect on both Pokemon for Abhyu, Ivy Cudgel goes into the Urshifu slot, which is now just a Rillaboom. That's decent damage still.
Yeah, surprisingly decent damage. That is one thing about the Teal Mask Ogerpon, is you can invest less in speed because you get that speed boost on terastallizing, but it means when you don't terastallize, you can get outsped by Alolan Ninetales, which I think is a decently big problem because Alolan Ninetales is so common and does pretty good damage to Ogerpon, although it wasn't that big of damage as far as everything goes, and
Yeah, probably so. Ogerpon gonna go ahead and go for the spiky shield, trying to catch a fake out more than likely. But instead, the fake out goes into the Ninetales, so Abhyu's Ninetales is not going to be able to perform an action this turn. Allan's, however, will go for the Blizzard, but we've seen from time and time again, it did not do a lot of damage to Abhyu's.
Yeah, the Ninetales don't do that much damage against each other, but now the snow is down. That matters for both of these Ninetales and both of their Blizzard spamming.
It could also eventually give Ogerpon some time to dodge some Blizzards from Allan, because if Ogerpon gets an opportunity to dodge an attack and fire out that Ivy Cudgel, it could be big.
That is absolutely true, although at the same time it's an opportunity for either of these Ninetales to switch out and then switch back in and put up snow for the rest of the battle, or even cycle Aurora Veil if Aurora Veil drops down in 3 more turns.
Abhyu does have the Landers in the back, and this is going to be the switch out option for him because Ogerpon's switching out.
Yeah. But I think I saw something good from Allan in response to that.
Is will lower the Rillaboom's power, but it could leave an opening for, oh, the Blizzard double connects. It survives a very low HP because of that Aurora Veil. No freeze this time. Ninetales missed the Ninetales, but it does importantly connect on the Rillaboom. Does he get a freeze here? He might need one here. No, he didn't. And the U-turn just going to pick up the knockout on the Landorus.
Yeah, I really like the U-turn decision there from Allan into that slot. It either was going to be the Landorus, in which case you don't want to stay in, you want to switch out, or it was going to still be the Ogerpon, in which case that was going to be pretty high damage as a super effective move. So either way, that was a really good setup there for Allan, and it really helped that the Blizzard hit and did so much damage, nearly enough to KO, and eventually got the knockout onto the Landorus.
Ogerpon returning to the playing field once again. Maybe like 1 turn left of Aurora Veil from what we saw. 2 more turns of grassy terrain, but the problem for Abhyu is if Allan's Ninetales lands on his Ogerpon, I think this might be game over.
It's getting pretty close. Although the question is, how fast is Ogerpon versus this Urshifu? We do know that Allan's Urshifu is adamant, is what we determined in our own calculations on this end. I think that the Ogerpon might actually will probably be faster in this instance, so you don't necessarily want to leave the Urshifu hanging around.
Okay, Allan's just going to protect it while he switches out Ninetales. Allan switches out his Ninetales for the Rillaboom again, so
More to get the snow back up.
Ogerpon just going here with a spiky shield. I would have loved to catch something, but I believe Unseen Fist even breaks through a spiky shield.
I think it does.
Moonblast goes into the protect at the airship.
But either way, I think it's neutral value overall. It means that Allan is able to get Rillaboom in, which means that Ninetales will come back in later, set snow again, and be able to launch 100% accurate Blizzards, which I think might be part of Allan's win condition here.
And also on top of that is fake out pressure.
And also, yeah, you get the fake out pressure, able to stop the Ogerpon for an additional turn.
Or the Ninetales even.
Mm-hmm.
You see the fake out go into the Ogerpon, go ahead and get a bit more damage there. What did the Urshifu do? Okay, first we get the Ninetales going from Moonblast. Needs a critical hit, doesn't get a critical hit at all. We're going to see Surging Strikes come out now for Allan into this Ninetales, and that's going to be a big amount of damage for a knockout.
Yep. And at this point, it's just Ogerpon against the world, and I think this is the turn that Aurora Veil drops off.
It is, and unfortunately for Ogerpon, I think this is the end of the road for him and Abhyu.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how much Ogerpon takes against some of these hits, but I think at this point, I mean, the biggest issue for Ogerpon right now is that even if you outspeed Urshifu, hit it with the Ivy Cudgel, you still get hit by whatever Rillaboom wants to do, and you still get hit by Alolan Ninetales Blizzard. And I don't think you can take both of those hits.
Not in a combination, I wouldn't think so, because Ogerpon not really known for his bulk. We'll just try go for another spiky shield, so I guess we're gonna find out now if Searching Strikes actually, with that Unseen Fist, is able to go for the spiky shield. No, it's gonna be an Aqua Jet, and we get the same answer. It is a yes.
Does it do the damage back? Curious.
It does not.
It does not. Man, that's a that's a really stupid ability. We'll do a little bit of damage back to the Rillaboom, but
yeah, this is not a good position.
I
right
think
now for
yeah,
Abhyu.
I think it's just slightly. Abhyu has slightly more, slightly less health.
Ooh, that's a critical hit.
That's a critical hit. Did a lot of damage there. I don't know if that's the better decision, because I think Surging Strikes finishes this one out.
And then the Life Orb on top of that. So Allan's going to go ahead and win this set 2-0. Abhyu really tried his best, but could not overlast the snow out of Ninetales.
Yeah, and in particular, still seeing why Urshifu Rapid Strike reigns king over even Regulation E, even past Regulation D. You still see this Pokemon putting up some crazy performances.
Yeah, that's another win for the Water Bear, and that gives Allan the opportunity to go into the grand finals of the Gym Challenge number 14. Abhyu ends his run at 4th.
Yeah, and definitely a fun run there, and got to see a little bit of the new Pokemon. It was interesting to see the Ogerpon and the Urshifu on the same team. I think we won't see that a whole lot moving forward. But I'm just curious to see how a lot of these players continue to adapt their teams. Abhyu obviously using the Fur Giraffe for a while. We didn't see it on stream today, but I'm curious to see how that kind of team continues to adapt, and everyone's teams continue to adapt as Regulation E moves forward.
Yeah, but we will be right back, ladies and gentlemen, as we have one more game to play to determine our champion and what our Regulation E metagame could look like for the upcoming month of October, which is, I think, 3 weeks away.
Mm-hmm.
So, with that being said, we'll be right back. We'll get your final matchups shortly, and I hope you guys stick around.